How's it going? So, I was recently given a loan of the Victory VC35 copper amp. That's this guy here. I got a loan of it off Ashton and Victory, and it was for a gig that I was doing. The gig was in the Royal Albert Hall. It was a live stream for the We Need Crew charity, which is in aid of crew members, roadies, techs, everyone who works in that side of the music industry, the live music industry. The gig was in aid of them because they've been out of work all year. So yeah, gig was with Niall Horan. It was in the Albert Hall. It sold about 130,000 tickets. So he ended up raising a load of money for charity, and everyone was really happy. You know, it went really well. So I was using the copper on the gig, and the copper is an EL84 powered kind of chimey British style amp. It definitely does the Vox thing, and it's reminiscent of that, but there's a lot more sounds that you can coax out of it. I found the bass cut control was invaluable. It was really handy. It, you know, allow you to get from the sort of 60s jangly clean type thing to when it was off, you could get fatter kind of Brian May sounds or any kind of modern sounds. It really helped the whole range of tones. And it was very useful in the setup I was using it in, which I'll talk about in a minute. Was a stereo setup, two 2x12 cabs. So there's a lot of low end, and you know, in those scenarios, your front of house engineer is probably going to be high passing the guitar a little bit. So the bass cut really helps just to keep things clean my end, so that he didn't have to do as much work when it got to him. On the gig itself, I was using this VC35 copper amp in stereo with a Victory V40. I generally go for a stereo setup on pop gigs like that. I just find it helps me recreate, you know, the really heavily produced layered sounds. The one thing I learned this time around about the stereo setup is that it sounds, to my ears, it sounds way more interesting when you've got a different amp on the left than you do on the And going stereo just makes all your reverbs and all your delays just sort of come to life, especially if you're able to, you know, use things like ping pong delay or any kind of pan-in delay. The sound almost just bounces around the place rather than just all coming out of one speaker. So it just adds a lot to the stereo image, and sonically it's just a massive improvement on a monotone. But you know, it's not for every scenario, but yeah, I'm a big fan. check out some links to the gig, I've left some below in the description, so you can hear the setup in a mix and how it sort of interacts with everyone else. Because that's the most important thing I find with like you can have an amazing guitar sound in your room and you can make things sound brilliant, but if it's not interacting well in a mix with everyone else playing, then yeah, it's not quite there yet. So it has to fit into the scenario really well. So yeah, it's been a pleasure getting to try out the amp in that stereo setup. I'm looking forward to, you know, putting it through its paces in a mono scenario, and now that I'm home I can, you know, in a recording scenario. So yeah, thanks for checking out the video, and I'd recommend checking out one of these guys because they're really cool. Cheers, thanks for listening.